Good start so far. The chopping pair bringing their variation. If you're newer to table tennis, a chop, a defensive shot, much like a slice. There it is. You see lots of it. The attackers in blue are going to be looking to hit that crossover where they can. From time to time, leave it short on the table and low enough that these two can't rush in and attack. Like they do here, those forehands are wicked.
Yeah, modern defensive players, anything lukewarm, they'll come and swoop in over it with attacks. Hashimoto got in with the first one, lunges in there, Sato, to close the curtains on that point.
This ball just comes sailing back, floating through the air. How much spin is on it? Often tough to tell. Beautiful stroke there from Hashimoto. Footwork and feeling the lob, and then the chop to follow. It's simply spectacular. A beautiful game to watch.
Man, it's just mind-boggling. The in and out footwork. The relentlessness from the attackers here. And then that defensive acumen. Two of the very best with this style.
Right in between, perfect placement there to get Honoka in some trouble in the crossover. Beautiful get on that wide backhand from Sato. Didn't think it was wrong. Honoka coming into attack, looking for that opportunity to punch. Slightly shorter pips, a little bit more control for the aggressive game. Loaded chop. I said I'd talk about it the other day, but when a chop like this comes in, to attack it, you need so much strength and to really lift. See, she jumps there. I'll give a more specific example on a towel break, maybe. Yeah, it really is. How many shots they can get back. The footwork is tested. Only one point I can recall so far where they've been quite on the attack.
It's a test of patience if you're Odo and Yokoi. You don't want to try and attack every ball. You want to dink them in, bring them in, try and get something looser. But it's harder to do that in doubles than what it would be in singles, in my opinion.
Why is that?
Because you've got to compensate for your teammate, so it's not as easy to judge perhaps which ball to touch. I don't know, what do you think?
It's interesting. I was thinking from the defender's point of view. I don't disagree with you. My thinking was it might be a little tougher simply because the defenders, one player isn't playing the shot. So that player can move in looking to attack a little bit quicker should a ball be pushed loosely.
Yeah, makes sense.
Either way, that is the common tactic. Don't attack two in a row if you don't have to. But with the attackers, the quality of the attacks from these two, you've seen that anything the blue pair can do to keep them behind the table might keep them slightly safer. There it is, heavy topspin. Hitomi Sato from under the table, it appeared.
You can probably explain this better than me, but the difference between the medium pips and the long pips.
Sure. So when you've got a player with long pips, they basically give more spin reversal to the opponent. They're not as likely to attack with that side of the racket, the long pips.
God.
Oh, the backhand attack. Hitomi Sato took her chances here when the push came in high. More to it than that. The shorter the pips are, the more control you have. That's why you can be an attacker with short pips on your backhand, like Mima Ito or Miyu Kihara. The longer your pips are, the more you're playing into the spin reversal game, where a player would then twiddle the racket. So medium gives you more control to attack and vary spin.
No way.
Love it. Oh, the touch, it's still in. Oh, they won it! Somehow left camp and said, you stay at the base. I'm going to be over by the assistant umpire's booth for a minute, just checking out the lighting. Lob, get ready for this chop. That was the one you loved. And what not to love. Sato keeps it in play, but the safety stays back.
Interesting there. It's just amazing. They're so complete. They've played with each other for so long as well. That's something to consider, these two. Just so instinctive, the way they gel, the chemistry between them.
So after having 5 game points, only 1 was needed. Take your time.
Well, Sato, Han Ying.
2.
Man, not Wu Yang of China.
Why not?
Wasn't she just outside?
Oh, she was way inside.
Was she?
Good times. First point here to the Choppers after leading 1-0. Leto.
Left, 1 love.
That's how we say it in Japan. Or if you're into less popular Joker actors and lead singers of 30 Seconds to Mars, that's also how you pronounce it. Oh, behind the table as well. Man, the variation in the spin game is so tough. By the way, people loved his performance in, you know, as the Joker. It was just not the most notable one, that's all. He was very good, though.
Not as critically acclaimed.
There you go.
Wasn't that kind of film.
There you go. 2-0, the Choppers lead.
1-2.
That's amazing. I mean, sometimes as well, you really want to bite. You really want to go for a hard attack. And it's tempting because the ball's high, but there's still so much backspin. You have to try and play the shot forwards, but there's still a little bit of energy transfer you need to have up the back of the ball.
Playing against a chopper is not a game for the lazy. Being a chopper, of course, you see them running around like crazy, but it takes a lot of footwork, a lot of resetting, and a lot of strength to play against. Right at the baseline, loaded this one. Just thinking to myself, the conversation we had, the fan vote agreed with us that yes, the Choppers have been unstoppable, but have dropped one game where the others haven't dropped one yet. It's just a style you get less practice against. See the pips there on the backhand side. Very similar setup between the two despite the length.
2-5.
Now in the defensive game, a lot of people might wonder, why don't you see defenders so much anymore? The bigger the ball has gotten, the change in the material, which is safer for everyone. If you go through China right now with old balls, they'll be like, you can't take those. You're like, well, but wait, there's no celluloid. It's not flammable. You'll have to convince them, learn some new words maybe.
5-3.
And the bigger ball doesn't spin as much now. The idea might have been to make the game a little bit more spectacular, easy to watch. Longer rallies, well, as we look at the service point percentage here, 91.6, that's one of the highest we've seen, but they've been dominating this game, and their serves have always been a big factor. Anyway, defenders need spin variation. It's just so good to watch.
Unbelievable. And even though they didn't attack that rally, that's why you've seen the way that the defenders play change. They have to come in and attack now. They have to mix it a bit more.
Unless they don't, like this point.
Yeah, apart from this point here.
Yeah, from time to time that'll happen, but generally at this level, you're right. They do need that attack because, well, someone will just drop it otherwise.
couple of Ukrainian defenders that I can think of that still barely attack even in the modern game, but they haven't managed to reach this level.
Milenko, Khapanova.
Yeah.
They're strong, twiddling like crazy. It's funny, Jusei Hyuk thought maybe this style would go extinct, the greatest chopper of all time. I feel like it could come and go in waves, and I think he said something like that as well. They might disappear for a while, but then something like this happens and people start practicing chopping again. Started with the twiddle, Sato, and then twiddled right back into the rally. Twiddle is when you turn the racket around in your hand 180 degrees to put the backhand rubber on the forehand side and vice versa.
Wow.
It's just too good. Net recovery for a net shot. The rally continues. They just don't miss.
It's just tantalizing. It's crazy. Nice little dink again from Odo. But they're in and out.
Backhand's not easy to attack with a backhand against a chop, but it saves a game point and 6 more left for the big sisters of the team.
Through caution to the win there, Odo. Why not? 10-4 down. If only you could treat every point like that.
Good kick serve. Hashimoto takes her chances, quickly takes responsibility as well, apologizing. Human moment. 2 game points saved. Satsuki Odo. Been quite starring in singles, just that the choppers haven't allowed much from these two. Good setup there. Odo with a nice push to the wide backhand, gets the ball up a little bit higher for Sakura Yokoi to put away. Power, the lob comes on. Oh, what a drop. This is Hashimoto-like. We saw some smashes and lobs against Tomokazu earlier. Sometimes he'll drop it with a tomahawk drop shot in a timeout. Look at this. Wow, late decision. Ooh, good placement to the wide forehand. The timeout hasn't been cashed in yet.
Yeah, surprisingly. So then what happens now? They're on receive, and the reason why their service percentage was so low initially is because the defenders can just dismiss that spin by chopping the serve. Most serves have been long, understandably, kind of delaying the inevitable, but what now?
I feel like you'd want to do a half-long serve for just the same reasons, and if you do a long serve, make it surprising for the same reasons, as usual. What a point, the quality here, 6 in a row. Odo and Yokoi right back in this business.
The timing on this final forehand here, right off the bounce after all the work.
Yeah, that was a confident shot from the world ranked number 8. Oh, took her chances, Sato, after the net ball. You can understand the urgency or the feeling of the need to attack after, what, 6 points taken by the opponent. Soft hands there, well covered by these two. 7 of the last 8 points. More specifically, 7 of the last 7. Deuce, game 2. What on earth are we watching? At deuce, after being up 10-3, a shot like this comes out. Yokoi trying to keep that momentum.
A reach, and then look at the coverage.
Yes, Odo with the big backhand. It was a chase. A lot of momentum change here. The first point in a long time, and it sets up yet another game point, 8th game point for Sato and Hashimoto. There it is, they take it, a big game, redemption. Back for game 3. Can understand here, the temptation on this ball left a little bit high. I love the way they support each other, pat each other on the back and say, don't worry about it, and quickly apologize for missing a shot.
It's fantastic chemistry between these two partnerships. Odo and Yokoi have the same coach. Sato and Hashimoto as the leading ladies for Japan in terms of the defensive department. Travel far and wide together as well. Practice with each other a lot. Just like the pair in blue from feeder to finals. It's been that story for them.
Pressure there right into the crossover. Power, confidence, the perfect read of the spin.
Into the middle, like you said, Adam. Can't really chop when your body's in the way, not as easily anyway.
And again, Hashimoto quickly saying, my bad, for leaving it a little too shallow. Took some time to get there, but it all paid off. Sato, laser-like focus, catches this with the attack.
Tried a bit of a dink there, but too high. Sato comes in.
First towel break here. And I'm not rooting for either side per se, but it would be really cool to see more choppers get back in the game. You might recall Masato Shiono on the men's side.
Oh my God, what a player.
Yeah. Yuto Muramatsu's back and competing. Good to have him back.
He's been playing the Bundesliga for a while, hasn't he? What happened with him, do you know?
Yeah, maybe a little personal.
Okay.
For him, not me, just. But yeah, back and well. You know, I did mention that it takes time. The comebacks usually happen against choppers for the attackers. Mima Ito was down 0-3 against Han Ying years ago, and she was a young teenager. And then came back and destroyed, I think, 4 in a row.
It is unbelievable. You mentioned Ito there, Adam. I mean, Hashimoto faced her. She got all the way to the final of the Star Contender Bangkok this year, Hashimoto. So she's really risen in the rankings too.
I was thinking of a counter example where choppers come back from down 0-3. And I know you know one.
Yes, Ruin Phyllis versus Lumin Ru at the Contender Almaty.
There you go. Thought you'd love that.
Yeah. One of the best comebacks in WTT history.
The scoreboard here favoring the attackers who, in the best of 5 final, have been down 0-2 and are leading by 2 points in this game. It's up to the Choppers to find some answers, shake it up. Oh, good defense. Not an easy ball to play, the kicking lobs. Odo's not especially tall, but gets up for this one.
She tried to fade that kind of smash there, didn't she, Odo?
I know if I were in her position, I would be wondering where my partner is behind me as I pull back for that. Oh, you want to see it come down. Human, after all, despite evidence to the contrary with some of these shots to the deep backhand from the Choppers. Just unbelievable. This right here. And if that comes down, devastating. The teamwork. Gomen, gomen, she says sorry. It's okay, only human after all. Some of the best humans, though, in the world at chopping. And table tennis in general, for that matter. After all, they're here. And as we've seen, this isn't a choppers convention. Not tons of choppers running around these halls right now on the table. Good parallel attack there, Hitomi Sato.
Crazy. They played the perfect point, it seemed, there, Odo and Yokoi. Straight from the serve. I mean, the serve was so close to the middle line.
The timing of the scream after all that work, too. It sounded like a Skrillex song. It was perfect. The celebration well-deserved here. A lot of work put in to tie it up. They don't want this to extend because they know that their teammates, the youngsters, are starting to figure them out. How can you not love table tennis after watching points like this? 4 pushes in a row. It was trickery every time, then a block before they got back into attacking, and a timeout now for the youngsters in blue. Simple slap.
Yeah.
Good drive deep. Now, one reason that you do try to avoid attacking 2 in a row is if you can bring the defender in close to the table, let's say in singles hypothetically, then they don't have time to react when you attack while they're near. Back edge of the table, they caught it. Sato and Hashimoto. Wow. The slightest nick.
I didn't think that Yokoi and Odo saw it. There's little to no reaction, but they had.
If they hadn't seen it, they heard it. And we have 2 championship points. The Choppers, 26 years old. One of 4 women that I know of, Hitomi Sato. You still haven't guessed the 4th at the 3rd towel break, in case you're curious.
Who was it?
Kim Kyung-ah.
Okay, I would never have got that.
Yeah, a little bit before my time as well, but world rank number 4, the highest I've ever seen, alongside Wu Yang. Both had reached number 4. Championship point for the Choppers, who beat 2 Chinese pairs to get here. They're bringing chopping back. They've chopped their way through to the championship. The